Smash that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and like the video.
Check us out on YouTube at Idaho Farm Boy. See you there.
This is a FarmBoy's podcast with Instagram sensation, often imitated but never replicated, Chunky Golfer.
So I host an annual golf tournament. This is my third year of doing it. Started off just kind of as a content creator get together, if you will, for the golf content world, and then it's morphed into something a little bit bigger. This year we're doing it here in Salt Lake City. The first year was Denver. Last year was Southern Utah, Black Desert, and then this year Salt Lake City, Park City. It started off just for fun, and then it's turned into kind of a charitable thing. So the charity we're working with this year is a special one. It's called the To the Max Foundation, and we have partnered with them. So all proceeds go to Max and his foundation, which supports children with autism and their families, kind of help navigate the world of that life where they can learn how to thrive, and basically how they say it is achieve their max in the world. So that's exciting. It's a 2-day event. First day is a team scramble. Second day is an individual championship. It's all for fun. It's all organized chaos. It's a great time. Golfers of all abilities, all levels welcome. We have pro level golfers, and we have the weekend hacks, which is where I fall in. But it's a lot of fun, and it's Eaglewood Golf Course day 1, and then Soldier Hollow Gold Course on day 2. So it's July 18th and 19th. It's a big event. I'm super excited. We got a lot of great sponsors and a lot of great companies that are working with us. And again, the most important part is the camaraderie we build with each other and content creators / the public, if you want to call them that. And then we build up some funds and some charity for the foundation. So I'm real excited about it.
How much is it to enter a team? Yeah,
so that's a good question. So we have a couple different options. As it's gotten closer, we're kind of slowing it down because sponsorships and things are filling up. But we do have spots available still. It's $275 a person for the 2-day event, which includes the VIP party on Friday night. That's where we do like the hang out, get to be around the players and people that you don't normally get to golf with. You'll see them at the tournament, but rather than just seeing someone fun at the tournament, we'd let you hang out with them on Friday night, the 18th, and then Saturday as well. So it's basically 3 events for $275. If you want to get a team of 4 to come, it's $800 for 4. And yeah, it's an all access thing. Everyone's off, no one's off limits, and everyone's accessible. We're also doing a pretty cool helicopter golf ball drop as a fundraiser, which is unique. I mean, people have seen them, but it's like a 50-50 raffle. You buy a certain number of golf balls. We associate those golf balls with you and your purchase with your numbers on the ball, and then drop them on the green. Whoever's ball gets closest to the pin from the helicopter gets 50% of the pot. The other 50% goes to Max and his foundation. So that's pretty fun.
Awesome. So it sounds like you can come even if you don't have a team.
Correct. You can come if you're an individual and you want to play. If it's 3 of you and you want to play, if it's 1 of you, 2 of you, we don't care. We'll find a spot, and everyone, I mean, we have probably, I'd say 20 something singles right now, which is great. And I would say I know personally or through social media about 80% of them. So it's not like it's we're going to put you with some randoms. It's people that are fun, and we're gonna find the right fits. And yeah, and the good thing too for like the helicopter drop, you don't have to be there for that either. It's all gonna be streamed. Being a content guy, we're gonna have it live so everyone can see it. We have people. I had someone buy a golf ball from New Zealand yesterday. So if they win, we're gonna send the money to them. So, but it'll all be live, all be streamed, all be recorded, and so you don't even have to be there for that. So it's fun.
Is there a deadline? What's the deadline for somebody or a team to enter?
The deadline, right now, I would say the deadline would be the 17th is what we're gonna shoot for. We have limited spots, so if we want people to sign up as soon as possible. But yeah, I would say the 17th. I'd be surprised if we got to the 17th. Now, if someone wants to play and it says it's full, just shoot me an email. We can figure it out.
What's that email?
It's chunkygolfer at Gmail. Pretty simple. Chunkygolfer at Gmail. Shoot me an email. Let me know. Yeah, hey, we want to play, but it says it's full. And then if you want to register for the tournament, you can get to it through chunkygolfer.com. And there's a link there to that'll say join us at the tournament, and it's right there at the top. So it's pretty simple to get to. And then yeah, I mean, everybody again is welcome. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, awesome. So let's hear about you now. Let's hear about Mason Chunky Golfer Instagram.
Yeah.
Content creator. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. So my name, my world name, my is Jason. I'm a pretty everyday guy, right? I work in construction insurance as a real job. Have been doing insurance for about 17 years, and thankfully that line of business lets me golf a lot, and that's kind of how the Chunky Golfer started. So I was doing insurance in Denver. Born and raised in Denver. Well, I shouldn't say born. I was actually born in Utah. Lived here for a week, and then moved from Utah back to Denver. So I grew up in Denver, and my first passion was basketball. I was a college level, professional level opportunity player. So I played pretty seriously. As you can see, I got basketball stuff all over. Big Denver sports fan. But got into insurance, and then golf was a big part of it. Kind of was the one that filled that hole from basketball being over, that competitive line. And then I was kind of born, the Chunky Golfer was kind of born in that pre-COVID era, where I was playing a lot of golf with clients and colleagues, and people were like, "Oh, you got a pretty cool swing." I mean, I'm 6'5", 315 pounds. I used to be a lot heavier, but believe it or not, still heavy. But people said, you got a cool swing. It's long, it's slow, it's smooth. You should record that and try and get better at it. So I started filming myself and sending my swing off to people during COVID, like, "Hey, what do you think?" And then it just kind of turned into, "Well, you should start creating stuff." And it exploded pretty quick. It started on TikTok, like most of the COVID world, and then just exploded. I got to probably, I would say, 10,000 followers in the first 6 months, which was pretty standard, nothing crazy, but cool. And then 6 months to a year, it got to 25,000, and then got all the way up to 56,000. Now it's kind of settled down as the world has frowned on TikTok. I think that one's at like 40 something. I don't do anything on TikTok really anymore, but yeah. So I mean, it's just kind of vaulted into that. And then I'm an older guy in the content world. They call me Oos or Uncle Chunky in the world of creators, and so I don't really spend a lot of time doing content anymore. But I love to build relationships and help other people and market and network and just help the younger generation get into golf. And it's kind of just morphed into something where I get to do a lot of cool stuff because of a stupid account about a fat guy chasing a golf ball around the golf course. So it's a lot of fun.
So how did you come up with your name? Did you think of it? Did somebody call you that?
Well, gosh, I've been called worse than Chunky.
I meant because you chunked a shot or something, or maybe that was a habit of chunking.
Yeah, well, that was what it is. Everyone thinks it's because of my weight, but it's really because my ball striking is not great. But no, it was kind of that, like, well, I don't want to be called the fat golfer, and it was something where I just sat there and thought about it. My wife and she was just like, "I don't get it, but whatever. If you want to play on it, just find something that relates between both your weight and your swing." And I just said, the only thing I can think of is, and I had a list, but the chunky part of it just sounded better because it was kind of a play on it where, it's not because I'm a heavy guy, it's because I don't hit the ball well. So yeah, it just works. It just works. There's a lot of the chunky squad out there in the golf world, the bigger set people, and we just, I had to represent for that crowd, that demographic. So
I think when people look, they're going to find that there's some other chunky golfers out there. What do you think about that? The other people that use that name?
Yeah, it's funny. For some reason it used to bother me. I don't know if it was maybe it's a competitive spirit, like, hey, you can't use that's my name. And so I'll get a message probably once or twice a month from people that are like, did you see this guy? He's using your name. And I've seen a lot of pages where they'll actually use my videos and stuff like that, where it's they'll pretend to be me. And honestly, it's at this point it's more flattery than anything, because once I report them, then they're gone. But it doesn't bother me, because honestly it just generates content for me where people will say, wait a second, that's not Jason's Chunky, that's somebody else, or that doesn't look like the Chunky Golfer. And then my followers will go after him and be like, you're not the real Chunky Golfer, you need to change your name. And it's just it doesn't bother me. But I've seen it's gotten more and more. Thankfully I was I got in at a time where I could lock up all the things I needed to lock up legally, with my name and stuff like that. that, but it doesn't
Yeah.
bother me. But I see it a lot.
Okay. So is your name copyrighted or trademarked then?
Yeah. So the logo that I designed, it's super. I mean, I'm super creative. I just turned one of the letters backwards, but yeah, it's all trademarked and everything. And so's the the website and all that. So I mean, that was really my main concern, which is really not even that big of a deal. But to me, it was like, oh, I better do this. Once I started to figure out it was a problem. So, but it doesn't bother me. It's flattering more than anything. Like, yeah, sure. There's more. Trust me, I'm not the only chunky golfer out there in terms of how we look. So everyone's welcome in the chunky squad.
Nice. So you've been able to show off a lot of your favorite courses and things like that. What do you think for somebody who's never been to Utah or going to visit Utah, what would you say the number one hidden gem is in Utah? What course is that gem? You'd be like, okay, if you can only come and play one course in Utah, where would you tell them to play?
Well, that's a great question. I will tell you this. Let me start by saying Utah is extremely underrated with golf. I was born and raised in Denver kind of thing, but spent a lot of time with family out here in Utah. And so I knew golf was good, but when I moved out here, I was blown away. Pricing is amazing, and location. You can get some of the craziest, almost weird locations in the world, and it's only an hour from Salt Lake City, kind of a thing. So it's funny. So I break it up into northern Utah and southern Utah. If I had to play, if I were to say, if you're coming to northern Utah, you're not going to miss. You want to try and play one of the mountain courses. I would say Soldier Hollow's a fun one. Now the problem is there's a lot of good country clubs here, but obviously we can't all play those. But I'd say public course, Soldier Hollow, Wasatch Mountain course is fun. And then the Salt Lake area. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like mountain course is not even Salt Lake, believe it or not, here. And then my favorite course in Utah still is Eaglewood Golf Course, which is in North Salt Lake, where I'm having my tournament. And there's a reason I'm hosting it there, because Tyler and the team over there are just unbelievable. I truly, that's where I fell in love with golf as like a teenager. I was like, I want to play golf there because you can see it from the highway and the fairways are going down the side of the hills. And so I would say Eaglewood and Salt Lake, any of the mountain courses in Park City area, and then southern Utah, Black Desert is probably the best course in Utah right now. It's tough to get onto, but it feels like you're playing on Mars. It really does. Like there's no other way to put it. Like it's red and covered in the lava rock. The course just pierces through it, and it's just crazy. I would say Black Desert, Eaglewood are my top two.
Awesome. So let's get a little bit more specific, even one step further. What is and you can forget Utah, just what is the favorite hole you've ever played in your life? What is there a hole that you've played that you're like, this is the greatest hole on a golf course ever made?
Honestly, gosh, yes, there's probably 40 of them. But I would say the one, and this is a great question, by the way, because people have asked me similar questions, but it's hard to specifically say what course is my favorite. But I have thought about which hole is my favorite. I would say number 18 at Harbortown was probably the most anticipated golf hole for me. It's the one with the lighthouse in the background as you're coming up 18. It's that red and white lighthouse that you see on the video games. And for some reason, I don't know if it was just hype for me, but I really, really, really wanted to play well on that hole because of just the whole time you're playing it. It's the backdrop of what you see on the video games and on TV, and that lighthouse is your aim point and the whole thing, right? So I really, really wanted to play well on that one specific hole. Probably the only time in my career where I've thought, even traveling to the Carolinas, like, okay, I got to play good on that hole. Don't know why. But I would say that one was probably the most memorable for that regard. But then it's funny because I've played like all the other big courses, but I've also played some small ones where it's like there's a hole in Colorado on Keystone's River Course. Probably no one's ever even heard of it, and it's an elevation change of like 300 feet from tee box to fairway. Those ones are really cool, but I would say Harbortown 18.
Okay, all right.
And I parred that hole, by the way, and the reason I parred it, and there's a video, I can tag the podcast in it.
Yeah.
The reason I parred it was because I told the caddy it was going to go this way, and and I have it all recorded. He actually laughed at me and said, no. It goes that way. And I said, are you sure? And he said, yeah, like, trust me. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I just watched a putt do this or do this. And he's like, no. Like, shut up, you're an idiot. Like, it goes that way. And sure enough, it went my way and I missed it by a cup the other way. And he actually said in the video, you can hear him go, "Wow, you were right. I am so sorry." And it was devastating. Like, it was devastating. So anyways, emotionally, maybe I'm just still fragile from it.
That's a great story. I mean, that's a caddy's job to know that course inside and out, backwards and forwards. Yeah,
right.
That's a big deal.
I said, this is like this is the hole on this course, and you're telling me you don't know the breaks. I just watched the ball do it, and he said, no. From this side, it does this, and then my older brother, who was with me, said, "Well, I would listen to the guy who works here, just like you're saying." And I said, "That's true. That's true. You're right." So I listened to him. And the best part of it for me, the most justifiable, measurable thing was that I hit the exact line he told me to. And it was just not it. It was not it. I was devastated. I'm going to get over it someday.
That's awesome. Hey, and if you don't, that's something you can always hang on to.
I got to go back.
That's right. So what do you think, or what do you attribute your social media success to with getting all these followers? What do you think is the secret sauce in your content?
That's another great question. I think people relate to a guy like me in a way. I don't look the part. I don't look like I would be good or bad. Really, either way. I think people look at me, and the first thought is that I'm not going to be good at something, whatever it is, because I'm a heavyset guy, and people attribute that to whatever. The first initial thoughts a lot of times is, okay, this guy's either lazy or he's a screw up or whatever. I think people just relate to the content. I don't post good golf every time, and that's saturated. That's played out. Nobody cares anymore if you're good at golf, right? There's 4,000 good golfers on Instagram. I mean, cool, that's great. I try and show relatable, like realistic, good, bad, ugly. In fact, most of my content is bad golf. Most of my good content is bad golf. So I get more pleasure from posting the stuff where I'm terrible than I do from posting the stuff where I'm good. It's kind of just realistic, relatable golf.
So is there anything that you kind of refuse to show on camera, whether it's good or bad?
I wouldn't say I refuse. One thing I do refuse to do is not post everything that's legitimate. So you have people that'll post like, here's a little behind the curtain for a lot of golf content creators is sometimes you'll play 2 balls on a hole when you're playing with your buddies for money, right? Or you're doing some random thing. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll play my shot, and then I've had times where I'm playing and I'm recording everything, and then you get on the green and you're too busy talking about this or that or going through the video process, and you miss your putt, and then you'll say, "Oh, well, that one didn't count," right? And I don't do that. Like, I'll try and say, sometimes I'll say, okay, this one's for content, or this one's for the video, this one's my real ball, and just so I can try and get different angles and things like that. But the main thing is you want to post the real stuff, like the authentic, because people aren't stupid. You can tell if things are changed, and you can tell if there's cuts in videos and things like that. So I mean, we've all done it where we've said, okay, I'm not going to play that ball, but I'll always post or try. I'm sure I've messed it up a few times, but I'll always try and post the real ones.
So you talk about other content creators and some of the stuff they do, especially with golf. Do you have any beef with any content creators, or vice versa? Do any content creators are like, oh, that chunky golfer?
I would assume, I know there's a lot on TikTok. There's a couple guys on TikTok that really don't like me.
Really?
Yeah, and just because they, a couple of them say they don't like my swing and I'm fake and all that stuff. And I mean, it's or I'm a liar. That's a big one. Like, people don't believe my scores, and it really used to bother me. And now my main thing is what I tell all the other people I work with in this field. I just say, hey, haters are generators. Haters are generators of content, views, comments. So feel free to hate all you want, right? Come on and hate. I'm not going to hate you back. I used to get frustrated and be like, oh, bring it on. Like, let's play. Like, I'm a competitive guy. I hate losing more than I like winning kind of guy, and so bring it. But now it's just like nothing's ever going to come of that. You're never going to fly to Utah to play me one-on-one, like, so why even care? But honestly, most of the time and energy I spend is with the other people, the people that I love and have grown to have good relationships with, and I have way more of those all over the world.
Yeah, it's interesting. Somebody would hate on somebody's swing. A swing is almost like a fingerprint, like it's your own, right?
Yeah. Oh, so and I have a saying that responds and shuts people down pretty quickly. It's just hashtag comment caddy, right? It's the comment caddies that tell me what I'm doing wrong and what they think, and for some reason everyone thinks I need a caddy, and I care about their opinion of my swing, but they've mistaken me for that person because I just don't really care. I'm self-taught at golf too. Like I've never had instruction, and I know there's things in my swing that are good and bad, but I don't really care. I just, my favorite comments are the ones that are like, I know golf, that swing doesn't hit that far, or there's no way that swing produces that speed, and I can tell just from this video that club head speed's this and that, and it's like, whatever. Like, even when you post things on simulators, they don't believe it, but you're never going to please everybody.
Right. So you talked about, nobody will ever come out and play you one-on-one. If you could play one-on-one golf with somebody, who would that person be? Golf or non-golfer?
Golly. I mean, maybe it's the salesman in me, but I'd have to split that up too. But I would say right now, my number one person to play with is probably my dad. I always want to play with my dad. Okay. I would stop doing what I was doing to play golf with him anywhere. He's grown his own little following. He's Papa Junkie because he was my cameraman for a couple years. But now he's still in Denver. With him, I would say he's number one. Number two, I mean, I'd have to go with the obvious, Tiger. I'd love to play with Tiger. But keeping it realistic, I've gotten to play with some pretty cool people. Like, the Finaus and those guys. I've played with them and been around them. I love the content creators. I'd love to play one-on-one with Fat Perez. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's on the Bob Does Sports podcast. They're right up there with Good and Barstool Sports.
Okay, wow.
In the golf content community, Bob Does Sports is really big. Fat Perez is he's an older guy like me. He's a heavy set guy like me. I'd love to play him one-on-one. A lot of people think that we'd be pretty close. I think I'd slaughter him, but he's got the advantage of being around a big crew and being in the spotlight a little bit. But I think that'd be fun.
Sure.
Yeah, any of the cool content guys. I love playing with like Malosi from Good. He's a stud. My boy Junior Calliopa. He's a big content creator. Those kind of guys. I mean, anybody who wants to have a good time. Bronson Kafusi, who and Corbin. Those guys are so much fun to be around. Anybody that respects and has fun I'd love to play with. But I would say my number one's my pops.
That's cool. So you're very authentic on your social media platforms. First off, let's go through what social media platforms do you focus on the most?
I would say now it's really Instagram and Facebook from drip marketing, if you will, because I just have my Instagram post everything to Facebook.
Sure.
TikTok, I'll post once a month just to keep the account active. That's my biggest following right now, TikTok, but I very rarely get on there just because it's not a world I want to be in, just because you can't really control what's going on what you're seeing as a person, and I like to keep my mind cleaner and focused on what I'm really caring about in the world. I don't need to see 17-year-olds dancing around. But yeah, I would say Instagram's number one. I'm really tempted to get into YouTube. I have not, but that's a full-time job in itself if you want to be successful, and I hate failing at things, so I want to make sure I'm ready to do it 100% when I start it. But then at the same time, I don't even know if I want to do it because I enjoy what I am. I don't try and grow my Instagram or TikTok. I really don't. I did for a while where I made the mistake of having a team, like a marketing team, help me, and got in trouble with growth reasons and people like fake followers and all that crap. Where I was like, this isn't what I am. So I started over. It's just, I would say Instagram's number one right now, just because that's where I can reach and it's easy accessible accessible to people.
So, besides the haters, are there any myths or rumors about you on social media going around that you want to dispel?
Well, I've heard like the main thing I hear is that I'm a liar, right?
Okay.
The main thing is that I'm a liar. My scores are fake, my distances are fake, all that stuff. Now, I think most golf content creators at my size, in terms of following, have the similar thing. But it's all true, or I try and be true.
Right.
And then the one I started just from messing around with people is, I am LDS or Mormon.
Yeah.
So I like to tell people I have more than one wife, which I don't. So that one's gotten back to me a few times. Like,
Oh, wow, that's funny. That's hilarious.
Like a lot of people didn't catch it, but I had a story I posted. We just had a little girl. She was our whoopsa baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you. She's a month old, and I posted a story like wife number 3 had baby number 4, which was, no one really said anything, but I always love to wonder like what seed was planted in that mind somewhere. Like, wait, what? And it's probably not the best humor, but I thought it was funny.
I think it's hilarious. I'm not a guess, but growing up in southern Idaho, living here, I mean, all my friends for the most part are.
You get it.
I think that's excellent humor, to be honest.
Yeah, well, good, because I'm like, you know what? If people really can't do the research themselves, I may as well embrace it.
Yeah.
We haven't done that for 150 years. We already know we're weird. Like,
So that brings up a good question. What do you think the biggest risk or biggest thing you've tried to do on social media that had the potential of risk was?
Oh man, I would say my tournaments have been risky for me because a lot of time and effort, and emotion and stress. And I'd say my tournaments are a big thing. I have done some collaborations with some content creators where I was like, man, that was not a good thing to do. That was a mistake. Both from a world standpoint of how I live my life to what they do. Oil and water, right? Like, it's just, sometimes it's not a good fit. That's why I've started to become a lot more calculated in who I collaborate with. But I would say the main risks I've taken is just from almost a financial side. Like, what am I willing to invest in myself and do as an individual to grow this, or to help others, or not even help myself, like whether it's merchandise that I've started, like with my hats and things like that. But I would say the most risky thing, as I've thought about it, ironically enough, with my tournament coming up, I'd say my tournaments, because it's a lot, and you have to give a lot back to a lot of people, and you want to deliver for a lot of people. So
do you make money off of your content, your hats, your gear? So the backwards CG chunky golf. Do you make money off of all that?
No. I used to. When I was pushing it, I would make some. I just do it now. I like to have the hats to give away to people. There's not here's the real selfish, almost narcissistic thought of I have. To me, there's nothing cooler than being recognized in public as chunky. It's still so weird after 5 years of doing it, but it's just there's something cool about it where you feel like you're important even for a second. And even cooler than that is seeing my hats places. That's pretty fun. I used to make decent money, and I make money on views and stuff, but it's minimal. I'm not going to be able to quit my job anytime soon. But going back to what I was saying earlier, I don't really try and do that. Part of me wants to, but I got a family. I'm a grown up. I gotta take care of business at home and make sure that I'm being the best dad and husband I can be. So it's like, with all those wives, it's tough. It's tough. So.
I shouldn't have laughed and should have saw how many people would have caught that.
Yeah.
Had to laugh there. Do you have any projects besides your tournaments that you're currently working on that, say, maybe other people don't know, and maybe you want to use this podcast to announce? Or, if other people know, but just to give it promotion. Any other projects you're working on?
I like to help other people. So I have a lot of people that I'm really close with that are doing a lot of big things that I help, or try and help promote their stuff. And then I really worry about my tournament and things like that. And I mean, personal stuff, yeah, I'm trying to, like, individual stuff, I'm trying to my goal is to get my tour card on some level, whether I qualify for an event, something like that. That's my goal in the next 2 years. So I've been working hard on that. I think I'm close, but it's tough to do that, just because there's a lot more on the line when you're hitting a golf ball for reasons. I'm a really pretty good golfer on the weekend with my buddies and filming content, but it's a lot different when you're doing it for something. So that's been fun. That's my goal. I'm gonna always try it. I don't know if I'll ever pull the trigger and actually do it, but yeah, I'm trying to do that. And then really just trying to help others. Like I mentioned, Junior Calliope, he started a clothing line that I'm pretty supportive of. It's called Unseen Clothing, and I've been helping him and just doing that. I do this honestly. And this is going to sound weird, but I really do a lot of what I do on social media is to help others and to make things better and bring awareness to, whether it's autism for my tournament this year or last year was teen suicide awareness and stuff like that. Those are really what makes me feel good about doing the chunky stuff.
That's awesome. Have you ever entered, or I guess I don't know what it would take to enter, but that is it the Corn Ferry tournament they have down in St. George?
Yeah, so you have to. So it's a process. So I've thought about doing that. So you have to go through qualifying to get your card. So they have like Utah state qualifiers, Idaho, Montana, all those. Each individual state through the USGA has qualifiers. So you have to get on and you have to earn those cards. You have to earn those entries. And I was going to do it this year, but then we ended up having the baby stuff, and it was like the same 2-week period where the baby was due. So I said, you know what? I'll put it out one more year, and then I'll register for the Utah qualifier next year and go out and see what happens. So this year, no, but I have been to those events. In fact, I was one of the sponsor, one of our big sponsors invited me down there, so it was pretty fun to go down there. Those guys are way better than me. I'm not blind to that, but I would love to say I competed or tried. That's my main thing. You can't hit a home run if you don't swing.
Right. Yeah. So you recently hurt your hand, showed on social media.
Yeah.
How long does that take you out of golf? And the big question is, will you be able to golf in your own tournament?
Yeah. So no is the answer to that. I won't be able to play. But the good news is I normally don't play in my event anyways. I like to make it about me going around and being with everybody. So on day one, especially with the scramble, I'll pick the hole that I like, and I'll sit there and hit shots with the people that come through.
Cool.
And then on day two, last year I played on day two because I played with Melosi and Nick Delfico, who's a big content guy at Arizona. I got to play with them. I'd say I got to. I assigned them to me because I wanted to play with them. And did that. This year I'll probably follow around Gipper Finau and John Millar, who are big local celebrities here in Utah. Obviously Gipper's Tony's brother. Those guys won the tournament last year, so I'll probably follow them around. They're a blast to play with. Good people, good families. So yeah, and then obviously I have my family coming to town, so I'm pretty laid back. But the injury is going to keep me out. I got pretty lucky. I didn't tear any ligaments or cut through any ligaments or muscles, which was pretty crazy just because of the way it basically, the metal skipped off the ligament and just chunked off my knuckle on my right index and middle finger. So I'm in a splint that I can't bend my fingers for right at 2 weeks. I can't make a fist probably for 4 weeks comfortably, but I'll be able to start at least, rehabbing it, if you want to call it that, in the next 2 weeks. So pretty lucky. I'm more bummed, not even about my tournament. I'm going to Vegas on Monday to play. I was going to play in the To The Max Foundation, the guys I'm working with, their tournament at TPC Summerlin with some NBA guys, and I don't get to play in that anymore. So that was more disappointing than anything.
Are you still going to go and hang out there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm all about hanging out with cool people. So I'm gonna go make a fool of myself and try and have some fun and make some bad decisions. So
Nice. So you've tested all kinds of gear. Is there anything for you specifically, your golf game, your golf shot, that you would want invented to fix something that's not out there? So you've tested all this stuff. It's like, but is there something that you think like, you know what, if they just had something for this part of my game?
You know, golly, I guess the easiest answer would be, yeah, if it could hit it for me, and I didn't have a chance to screw it up. The world we live in is crazy enough where we have everything to give you the advantages. I mean, there are glasses you can wear that will tell you the read of your putt, and it'll break down the green for you. You can look at the green and it'll actually give you a line where you should putt based on the undulation of the green. I mean, there's golf balls that are hooked to guns that'll actually shoot your ball for you out of the back of the club. Like, you just push the button on your club and it'll hit the ball. So, I mean, honestly, to change my game, no. The thing that I love about my chance to test things is to find the stuff that is like, oh, that's convenient. Whether it's golf ball cleaners, I have a company called Groove It Brush that I love. It's just a simple squirt bottle and a brush that cleans my clubs. Or the best thing that I own in my golf bag, other than my clubs, it's called iRange Sports, and it's literally just a stick you put in the ground that has a magnet to hold my phone, to fill my content, to hold my ball markers, to hold my towels, to hold all this stuff that people don't even know I have. And that's probably the best thing in my bag for what I do. And those guys over there, Gene at iRange Sports, I mean, if people ever want to know how content creators film and post content, it's that stick or anything like it. Now there's few that imitate, but it's never duplicated. It's really not. iRange is truly, and this is not a paid promotion, it's truly the best in the business. Like, Gene and this team do an awesome job. I mean, I got 3 of them in my office right now that I use on. So I mean, club wise, no, I'd love to partner with some bigger clubs, but they're still like, this is just a fat guy playing golf. It's not really that big deal. So we'll let them grow a little bit.
Well, I appreciate the time you've given me today. I have one last question for you. What have you learned in golf since day one that you think is the most important thing that you actually apply to your life?
That's a great question. I think golf is the closest representation to what life is in sports. It's a very individual game that can reach a large group of people very quickly. You're competing against yourself, but you're also competing against the field, and the only one who can affect your outcome is yourself, with very few exceptions, right? And golf measures who you are as a person individually very, very, very quickly. So you can tell a lot about a person based on what their golf is, not even how they play, not even how they what the results of their game is, but how they conduct themselves. And that's not like that sounds almost snotty, old school, like, golf etiquette. I mean more like, how do they present themselves with, their integrity? Are they honest? Do they play it the right way? It's all self-judged on our level. And so I think I've learned the most about, be who you are when no one's looking, right? Be the best version of you when no one's looking, because it's easy to be somebody else, right? It's easy to change something. It's easy to change a score or not count it. But I always the one thing I tell people when they're starting golf is keep track of it. Like, keep track of what you're doing, because you're never going to fully appreciate your improvement if you're not keeping track of the actual results that you're getting. Because you will say, just as an example, yeah, you shot a par on the scorecard, but we both know you shot an 8 on that par 4. And that's okay, because you're learning it. But guess what? When you finally do shoot a par on that hole, it's going to feel so much better. It's going to feel so much better. So that's my main thing, is just to be who you are when no one's looking, and really take pride in knowing, some days it sucks, some days it's great, but you can always get out and do it again and not have to stress. And that's life, right? Some days suck, some days don't. But if we keep pushing and we keep practicing and we keep trying to be the best version of us, then eventually we're going to get it right, or at least get through it.